K.I.S.
Here.
Keith Malloy.
Here.
Sarah Black. Here. Doug. Steve.
Here.
I trust everybody's had a chance to review the minutes. If there aren't any questions, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Department heads. Eric.
I just shared with you our summary that I just got, but I have nothing spectacular to add. The fire engine that had the insurance claim, that turned out to be a bigger insurance claim than anticipated, but they're ordering the parts, so it'd be 3 to 5 weeks to get the parts in, and I have to ship it off to Zanesville, Ohio, I think, to the place to get it done, and it'll be gone for 4 to 6 weeks when they have it, so.
Which engine is that?
Which will be our 41, which is the 2003
Okay.
International that we purchased.
Yep.
One of the employees backed into the gas pumps out of the schoolhouse because they haven't been there but in about 10 years or so. He wasn't aware that that big concrete thing was there, apparently, but.
It's a new addition.
And the damage was fairly substantial, so it's gotta go to a fire truck repair place, and that's gonna happen later this fall. So we got all parts in, but
It's functional. Is it functional now or is it?
there's just one door we can't open, so, but otherwise it's functional until it leaves, and we have to strip it completely of everything prior to
When
it
you send
going.
it. Oh my word.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to move to Kyle.
Sure. Okay. I have two proposals for condemnation. The first is going to be 740 North Columbia Street, which is a residence owned by Nicholas Abling. Lives out on 28, I believe. It was a rental property. He agreed to have this couple stay there, work on it, but not live there. Well, it turned out to be they ended up squatting there. Had numerous calls of service to that house for domestics and theft reports. So was able to have them removed from the property on their own willingness. But after looking at the property, it's in bad shape. It's got some holes in the gutter area where the soffit is. The insides is covered with trash. The neighbor next to him said that there's bottles of urine just up there and that people's just been kind of squatting in there. To fix this issue, Nick actually removed the front door and the back door, hoping that it would keep the previous squatters out, but I don't know why that would do that. So right now it's actually open to animals and whoever else wants to get in there. I didn't inspect the interior, but I did look in there when I was putting paperwork, and the ceiling has a sag in it, so there's some concerns for how the rest of this condition is on the inside. But we have a lot of junk in the backyard that looks like the previous people put back there, and no one's been cleaning it up. So I sent this to Nick and spoke to him. He acted like he was going to work on it, and that was about 2 weeks ago, and he has not touched this property at all. So.
Does he have long-term plans for this property, or is he just going to be a delinquent property owner?
My concern is he's going to continue to rent this, but he claimed he was going to have to gut it. He said he needed to gut it before it ever be resided in again. And he said he was going to do that, but the people he hired, I would not recommend. So that was a concern.
I'll put a motion on the floor to condemn it with the understanding that if at some point in time before it's torn down, we have the option to reverse it if somebody's going to invest in it and work on it.
Have a motion, have a first.
I'll second.
Do a second. Amy wants to take the call on that.
K.I.S.
Yes.
Keith Malloy.
Yep.
Sarah Black. Yes. Doug Converse. Yes. Steve Shoemaker.
Yes.
Thank you.
That didn't say in that paperwork, it was mentioned, it said it's owned by Nicholas Abling, but then it says it was mentioned to me by Joshua, I think.
So they like partner on properties.
Okay.
So K.I.S. has Nick as the owner, and then
Okay.
next door is Josh's property as
Okay.
well. So they kind of team up on that.
Gotcha.
It is in his name.
Well, one thing that can do is that if somebody attempts to squat in it, it's a lot easier to get them out
Right.
on condemned property.
Yes,
And
yeah.
will we board up the doors?
Yes, we're gonna get that boarded up, because
Yeah, we can.
it's hard telling what's in there currently, but, so we'll get that boarded up, make sure it's taken care of, so. And then the last property I have for today is 428 North Plum Street. This came in as a concern from wastewater director Rob. He must have been doing an inspection there and or had a complaint of some sort and found raw sewage and grease just flowing on the backyard. Sent a picture to me for it. It had a concern of that. There was a concern that there was also some, like a opening in the basement area of the foundation where there was concern there'd be some critters getting in there. So I did an exterior inspection of the property. I did find some other violations, none major, but there are some things that could be addressed. I sent out a notice to the property owner, who is Phyllis Lewis out of Ohio, and spoke with her about it. She stated to me she really doesn't have any intentions on investing in these properties. She says she's 90 years old. She's kind of to the point where she wants to get rid of these properties and doesn't want to put money into them. Her agreement with this property was she was renting it to a, I believe, Reyes Morales, who is also allowing his family to live there, or friends to live there, and he's kind of paying the rent for them. He has been notified of these violations and concerns and still hasn't done anything to fix it. She was thinking he was going to buy it on land contract, but still technically it's in her name, and she just doesn't have much plans for it. So I've been talking to her. We're working out some details. Hopefully we'll get some kind of answer on how we can get this thing here.
So she knows condemnation isn't.
She does. I told her today I'd be proposing that, and she wasn't opposed to it. And I told her we'd discuss further plans to hopefully get this property taken care of.
We have offered to Phyllis the option of gifting it to the redevelopment or legally titling it in the gentleman's name who's allegedly buying it in land contract. What I would like the board to do is allow Kyle to officially condemn it on Wednesday. We've kind of got her on a timeline so that we're making sure that the health hazard and the concern that's been going on now for about 30 days plus, Rob's received a couple of complaints on it, is adequately addressed. If we can get it transitioned into redevelopment and then work with the family and the alleged new property owner through redevelopment, but at least the city can go address it when it's in the city's name and fix the problem. I would rather do that, and I don't want to wait another 2 weeks with this thing just hanging out there.
And there's someone currently living there?
There is.
I'll have another conversation with her tomorrow about further plans. She just wanted to talk to this gentleman first and kind of see what his thoughts are before she moved forward.
Yeah.
She sounds very open to any kind of improvement, so.
Entertain a motion.
That would be my motion, that we approve it for
Okay.
condemnation if we can't, through Kyle, work something out.
So, yeah, approve for condemnation with that, what, Wednesday?
Is that a fair timeline?
Yeah, she'll be able to provide an answer Wednesday on what her plans are.
Okay, we have a first, we have a second.
Second.
Okay, Amy, would you do roll call on this one too?
Tim Heiss.
Yes.
Keith Malloy.
Yes.
Sarah Black.
Yes.
Debbie Contreras.
Yes.
Shoemaker.
Yes.
Steve?
Project update on the water treatment plant project. Obviously, as you can see all over town, there's blue-ish colored pipe being delivered. It's being staged. It's not necessarily where it's going to go, it's just geographically close to where it's going in the ground. We are still patiently waiting for IDEM to give us the full-blown environmental clearance on the project. We have a preliminary clearance. We're expecting the full clearance by around the 5th of August. So no work can be done, no ground can be disturbed until that's completed. So maybe by the end of August, we're putting shovels in the ground. So that's progressing as expected. Other than that, I don't have anything.
Okay. Amy, do you have anything?
Just one. There's a new business coming into town, going into 209 North Columbia Street, and I just need to get board approval that will give them the 6 months free water.
Oh,
So,
What's the business?
do you know the name of the
Emerald
business?
Star, it's a high-end tattoo parlor. Josh Jazinski's business.
Oh,
okay. Just need to do that form of a motion, I assume.
And we've done that. That's
Yeah,
in the,
That's usual and customary.
okay.
What's such thing as high-end tattoo place?
Well, his is, that's the goal.
Okay, do we have a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Motion, and second?
I'll second that. Give it to Delia. She's quick.
All in favor? Okay, opposed? Okay. The old new business 2018 Dodge Charger. Do you have what you need to discuss on that, Amy?
just that, it's Ridgeville. I was kind of expecting Mark to be here.
Well, Lance stopped today, can I fill in?
Sure.
All right, so Lance stopped at my office today. Ridgeville has agreed to purchase that for
85,
uh,
was it 8,500?
that's 2,000 more than the rental car place Enterprise was going to offer for
Okay.
it. And since it's an agency to agency purchase, we did not have to, take bids or
Yeah.
anything like that. He was looking for approval for us to approve that sale. And it's a done deal if we say yes.
Yeah.
Like he's got a check ready to go.
And that's just one they're not using.
Yeah, it's an old one.
That great one we used to drive, Steve?
It's not the gray one.
No.
The first of the white ones.
It's the one of the white ones that has a dog box in it. So, when he was at the office this morning telling me, I don't know enough about the value of them, but it seemed like a great value
Yeah,
for
it's
us
not.
because of when he talked about the Enterprise offer and this being 2,000 more than that, and I felt like it was a great opportunity, so.
Yeah, that's not bad. Not exactly a comparison, but a number of years ago, we bought a couple from the county that were probably, older but similar. As far as back years ago, I think we paid $4,000 a piece for them. So it's not a bad number. Like I say, more than what Enterprises is offering us for. So with that said, I'll entertain a motion to approve that sale.
I'll second that motion for this.
All in favor? Opposed, the same. Okay,
He said he has a check already.
all right.
Okay,
I'll tell him to give it to you.
all right.
Any visitors? John, do you have? Okay.
Yes,
And just tell me.
my name's John Desmond. I live at 1267 Zoom Road, Union City, Ohio. And I'm here regarding 2 notices of condemnations that I recently received. And wanted to give you an update as to what's going on essentially. So 529 North Howard used to have a 4-plex there. It burned down a number of years ago due to arson. And in the process, there was a big pile of burnt out house there that the city was concerned about and ordered me to remove it. Unbeknownst to the city, I had worked out a verbal agreement with the fellow that actually removed the building ultimately for a bid price of about $3,000 plus the removal fee, the dumpster fee for each one of those things. So I drove by there like on a Monday and the house was gone. And it's like, what? The guy was supposed to contact me first before he proceeded to demolish the thing, or to remove it. Because there was about 5,000 square foot, easily 5,000 square foot, might have been 10,000, of hardwood floors that did not get burned up, and they still had a residual value in my mind. After planing the wood, it represented, well, if you know what hardwood floors go for that are that thick, it was an old house, really, really well constructed. Well, the house is gone, but the contractor took the liberty of beginning to disassemble the large shed in the back, which was all aluminum. And so I just freaked out about that whole thing. And subsequently, a few years ago, I was ordered to replace the aluminum siding that had been removed from the building. Well, since that time, I think the neighbors have been industrious and have been removing more of the aluminum siding that can only be reached from their property. That's the only way, and they have a completely fenced-in yard area. Well, there's this thing that I learned on my first day with the Ohio Department of Transportation called contributory negligence. And basically, it states that when the state of Ohio fails to provide for sufficient berm, this is just one example of contributory negligence, but when the state of Ohio fails to abide by its own rules and regulations and allows the berm to go down approximately 1 inch, and if a drunk driver comes along, gets his wheel locked into the berm and overcompensates and hits a bus, guess who's on the hook? The state and the driver. And they obviously go after the state because the state's got the big pockets. Well, it seems to me that the lack of coordination between the city and me, and all anybody has to do is just pick up the phone and call me, resulted in unnecessary costs and damage to me personally as a result of not getting the opportunity to remove the oak. All that being said, I've already purchased some materials for the building. I visited the permits people last week to see if there were any kind of permits that I needed to pull. There were none.
Who exactly did you speak to?
There were 3 ladies in the permits department. I did not get their name. Our conversation was relatively brief. It was a humorous conversation. They'll remember me. So if you care to challenge me on that fact, that's fine.
Have you pulled permits?
No, I just got done saying that it did not require permits. I couldn't get one if I wanted one based on the work that I wanted to try to do. So ultimately the city billed me for $12,000 for the removal of the material. Never followed up on that, and I had entered into that same contract for $3,000 plus the dumpster cost. The vendor stole the aluminum. More vandalism has occurred, which I believe to be the neighbor. And the neighbor right now is encroaching on my property, which unfortunately for law enforcement, I may need you to say, no, you can't be parking on this guy's property because it's still mine. I may have to install trail cams to make sure that they don't keep on taking this stuff out of there. The primary question, because there's 2 properties, the other one is 520 North Plum, which is the more important one to deal with? I probably think that it's the garage because there's the possibility of steel flying off of the building as opposed to the other one, which is more of just a nuisance. Yes, could a critter climb in this little area in the house? Yeah, it could. But I can address either one, but I can't do both at the same time satisfactorily. The building at 520 North Plum is actually structurally sound except for a 10 by 20 foot section, the kitchen area, where 3 layers of roof, which is verboten, you're not supposed to do that, has caused the roof to sag and has also caused some bowing of the back area. No permits are required for that either. We went through a big discussion about trusses versus so on, and I'm not changing anything relative to the slope of the roof, so no permits needed there. And so the thought there is remove the 3 layers of roof and proceed to put OSB on it, and then put a steel roof on that as well. I have some steel currently that we can begin working this next week on the shed, which I think is, or garage, which I think is the most important.
So what?
Yeah, what are
do
you
need
asking from us?
I mean, that all sounds great.
Well-
I mean, that's amazing. If you do us, that's exactly what we want.
If you read the rules concerning a notice of condemnation, it becomes a final order unless somebody appeals. I'm here to appeal.
So you're appealing the initial condemnation, is what you're
Yes.
saying? Okay.
Yes.
So we can't reverse or vote on that until the repairs are done, am I right? The initial condemnation was based on the fact that they're saying.
When was the fire?
I don't recall. You were the fire chief, I
Oh,
suppose. I don't remember.
Oh, so
I know the fire marshal
It was a
came.
long time ago.
My question for this board, or my position for this board, is nothing is going to change because you have shown no effort or no energy to rectify the issue since the fire.
That's
I
absolutely
understand.
untrue. That is absolutely untrue, and I'm happy to explain how that's.
There is no explanation. The place is a
Yeah,
train
you
wreck.
called my side.
Well, but is the place secure? Has it been secured since the fire?
There's no
Since-
way to get into that building unless you are to climb up the side of the wall. It's the only way you can get in there.
John, you can see through it.
The only way that you can gain entry to the building, and I would challenge, we'll go right there right after this meeting, we'll bring everybody in tow. You cannot get into that building unless you force your way into that building. Can you see panels that are missing in the roof? Absolutely, but you would have to climb onto the roof or climb onto the
And you,
neighbor's
you
property,
think
please.
that fact alone
Please.
doesn't affect other people's neighboring property values? You think the fact that metal blows off the building during a thunderstorm into other people's properties?
That's a safety issue, and I agree with that. I'm agreeing to fix it.
So how many complaints should the city have to endure till you decide you're going to invest in your properties?
I already have invested in it. I believe I started out by saying that originally they had taken the south side of the building
Nobody has
off.
touched that building except the weather.
You're absolutely incorrect. You're just wrong.
Do you have a
I
police
had a-
report verifying that somebody stole something off your property?
What was the former police chief's name? What was his name?
Chief.
Wells.
Kobe Wells was there. You were there on one occasion when there was.
I was there investigating stored chemicals in the building. That's why I was
Yes, and I insisted at that time
there. Which is
that I.
also against the
You're
law.
interrupting me again. I insisted at that time to have a police report filed, and I wanted to know who the heck reported it because they had to have broken into the building in order to do that. So your contention is that I haven't done anything to the building, which is absolutely incorrect. If you go through your records, I think there was a previous condemnation notice, which was then lifted after I fixed the entire south wall of the building. That's all new sheet metal. What I'm saying is I've purchased more sheet metal and I'm prepared to move forward on the thing.
My question is, I
Yes, sir.
don't know any of this, and this doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is the day that I voted to condemn it, has there anything changed from that day to right now when you're asking me to lift the condemnation?
Well, I actually,
You see what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
that's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
You know, we can talk about 10 years ago, but what I need to know is the day I voted to condemn it, is there anything different from that day to today?
Yes, I purchased steel for the roof, and number two, I visited the permitting people. We've been there to cut down the weeds, which was one of the complaints here.
Right.
I have purchased very aggressive, probably Tim knows what I'm talking about, very aggressive attachments to go onto my
Right.
bigger.
When is all of that going to be done, is my question.
Well, that's a different question. So I've staged, I'm getting.
The property itself, when is it going to be fixed, is the question.
I've already begun in terms of the weed eradication, which was one of the problems listed here. We have the metal. I need to pull my scaffolding from a Greenville project that I'm doing and install it in there in order to safely deal with the structure,
So when
which could
that-
begin within the next 10 days.
Right, so when that's complete,
Which,
then we can pull that property out of condemnation. Why would we do it before it's complete? Let me ask you that, because you're asking for us to
Well,
pull it
because
out.
of the good-
What's the benefit to you for us to say, okay, yeah, it's not condemned today? What's that benefit if the property's not fixed?
well, I have to appeal this, otherwise it becomes an automatic order. Once it becomes an automatic order, then my next remedy is only to go to the circuit court
Sure.
to appeal it.
Yep.
That causes undue costs for the city, undue costs for me
Right.
to appeal something.
Right.
So if we can enter into a gentleman's agreement that I will do that, move forward on this, that would be great. That'd show good faith. That'd show a friendly business
I
environment.
believe there's enough time that shows good faith. Enough time.
Actually, you've given me 30 days. That's what I'm responding to, is the 30 day.
So when was that when did you receive the condemnation?
Kyle would have to tell me.
What day was that? Do you know?
It was
Kyle?
certified and mailed. Let's see. Should have been
This one was
certified and
6/13 according
Yeah,
to this, but it takes a couple days.
mailed. He maybe
for it
got
to
it a
show
day or
up.
two after that.
So you got it on June 15th-ish, maybe?
Maybe if I was even in
17th.
town, I'd have to look at my,
Okay.
something like that.
I think when our,
But I ordered the metal, did the permits, got the special tools for my weed whacker.
so we would have had
material
a,
is in your place?
I'm
Is it
sorry?
The material that you order is in your place in the house that,
No, I fear that it's going to be stolen. It is in my factory building on Zoom Road where I live.
so we had a Board of Works meeting on June 23rd, so that would have been after you would have received that condemnation letter. If it was mailed out on the 13th, that would have been at least 5 business days from the date of the mailing. Is that correct? So what's the,
So
so that it was sent out on the 13th, so that means there's 30 days until it goes into, there's no
Full
turning back,
condemnation.
yeah. Okay, so the 13th would be,
From the date of receipt, not from the date that it's mailed.
okay,
So I think I'm within the 30 days.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, even the
Yeah, it was
13th.
in the 13th.
Well, I guess today's
Even
the
the
14th.
13th, today'd be the first.
And
business
honestly,
day.
Yeah.
if you want to attract business, you say you probably want to give people a break. Just saying.
So my concern is, John, that there is nothing that has been, that would change my mind on the condemnation currently. And that's my concern. I'm not, nothing against you, I don't know you, but I'm just saying, other than the weeding, there's nothing that says, hey, this property is now
I'm
structurally.
happy to show you the photographs of the metal that I've procured.
Well, but I mean, the building is still.
Well, I have
not
a substantially
sound.
worked on it.
I understand, but
Right.
you understand, my concern is the safety issues. And there's nothing been done that has safely, that's made this property any safer from the day that I voted on the condemnation. That's my concern. So it doesn't make sense for me to say, yeah, well, we're gonna take it out of condemnation because it's still unsafe. Like today, it's still unsafe. So I just think, I don't know that there's an appeal.
Well, all
In my
I
personal
really,
opinion.
all I really care about is that we're not moving forward to the next step, which is, okay, let's tear her down, boys.
Well, that's gonna take time
we
anyways,
don't-
correct?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, correct me if I'm wrong, but even when we get to that 30 days, it's not the day after that it gets, there's a list of properties that are on that to be torn down, that take time. So if it's, I don't know, if there's improvements that are made in the next 10 days and it hasn't been torn down, then I would say that there would be an opportunity to take it off the condemnation list at that point. And I think from past practice, that's tearing down of that property is not going to happen within the next 10 days. And you said you can do that in the next 10 days.
I can begin. I really don't know.
That's what we need to see. We need to
Sure.
see that there are changes being made to that property on the actual property, not just the purchase of the
What's
materials.
your goal as far as timeline of?
Well, the first thing that I need to do.
We know starting the.
Yeah, first thing that I need to do is replace the springs on the doors because they've been destroyed over time. Then I need to, right now the doors are so heavy, no normal human being would be able to possibly lift those. They're like 14-foot wooden doors. They're really, really heavy. And vandals have broken the windows and so on in that. It looks unsightly, no doubt. So the first few things that we're going to do would be cosmetic in nature to show that there's progress and good faith effort. And that would be maybe replacing the windows with wood as opposed to glass, because I fear that somebody's going to just go back and
I
break it
think
again.
the question though is,
Yes.
what is the timeline? Like, it doesn't, we understand that the property needs to be fixed. What's the timeline?
You mean, how long will it totally
Yes.
take?
When
I don't know.
are we going to see that this property is safe so that it can be, could potentially be removed?
Well, I haven't quite figured out exactly how many panels that are going to be needed, and I don't know what the rules are concerning my ability to enter onto somebody else's property to fix the north side of the building. That is going to be a bit of a problem, possibly. Now, maybe the guy will say, yeah, hell, it looks like it's really ugly. Yeah, go ahead and put your ladders on my property. But I think he literally put his fence, is encroaching on my property as well. So there's a logistic problem that I might have to work out. I don't know how long it's going to take, honestly. I would think that we would be able to put 10 panels a day up, and that would include doing whatever shoring that would be necessary to stabilize it if there's any kind of rotting wood there, which I just don't know until I get on top of the roof.
Well, it sounds like on our end, the condemnation is going to stay in effect, but it could potentially be removed from condemnation if the changes are made. The tearing down of the property is not going to happen immediately. I don't know the date of when that would happen, but it would require, if we get to your property and those changes haven't been made, then there's no discussion to be had. The property will be torn down at that time.
That's fine, yeah. I just don't want to see this move any further forward as long as I'm showing good faith effort to fix it. And I have called Kyle at least 2 times this past week, and I haven't received a phone call from him.
I got you. I brought the report. Just get some meeting.
Thank you, I do. Yes, sir. Thank you.
So Tim, can you tell me, or Steve, tell me, can we extend the condemnation notice for 30 more days before it goes to the circuit? Or I don't know enough about that. So what's that?
It's condemned, and like with any other property, you have, as the Board of Works, you have the ability to work with any property owner at any point in the condemnation process.
Yeah.
So if in 90 days comes back and says, hey, I finally got this done,
Then you can take it off the condemnation.
deliberately remove it from condemnation.
So that would be my thought process, and I think Sarah's thinking the same way. We just say, you're going to stay on this condemnation list. Once you have made necessary improvements to the property, then come back to report to us or Thacker, and Thacker can report to us, and then we can look at removing it from the condemnation list at that time. I appreciate the fact that you've purchased materials, and I understand that's expensive stuff, but the reality for me is boots on the ground on that property is what's going to matter to me.
We've done this in the past. We've had a couple of properties. One particularly we had good success with, where we withheld the condemnation as far as acting on it. We kept it in condemnation. We didn't act on it, and we got reports, regular reports. I'm trying to think whether they were monthly or bi-monthly. I think it was, and ultimately the property was a little bit longer than what their timeline was projected at the beginning of the process, but not much actually. and it was a house that was rehabbed and ultimately sold.
Yeah.
So that this is a
It worked.
little bit of precedent that we've done this, so.
I want to rephrase this position. So the city, the Board of Works has acted on good faith based on visual evaluations of the structural
Right.
condition of the property. If we remove that before any repairs are done,
Yeah.
the liability that the
Right,
city is
right.
going to be
Yeah.
incurring is
Yeah,
tremendous.
Yeah, I think
Because
that-
we're identifying that the building is safe and it's
we're
good
not.
to go.
No, we're not.
And to be
we're
clear, I'm not,
gonna remove that.
I'm not asking for that, really. I'm just asking to put it on
Now,
pause.
all that being said, the mayor is actively looking for money for blight clearance. We have 18 properties in condemnation currently. I believe there's bigger targets for demolition than 529, is it 529?
And 520, yeah.
North Howard or North Plum. But at the same time, if the mayor is successful with coming up with $100,000 in blight clearance money,
We're gonna tear some things
we're
down.
going to tear some things down.
Yeah.
So,
So you just have to be under the understanding that if those, I mean, the faster the better on your part, because if those changes aren't made before your name pops up to the top, then
And pressure starts.
Yeah.
So,
I'm fine.
well,
good.
I say if work through, get some progress made, you can feel free to report to Kyle and whatever. That's probably our best avenue is just, you got Kyle's contact information, I assume.
I mean, I would imagine it would probably be good for you as well to take pictures of that property and continue to take pictures as you're progressing, and you can report back
I
to
don't know.
him with that.
I don't know if, Steve, that you're familiar with that and the neighbor there, as far as him getting access to that side of the building. I don't know about legal press, what legal remedy there is or whatever, but we kind of need to make sure, it's in everybody's best interest that he can get there to fix it.
I
do
would
that.
say if that was the plan, they would be
Yeah.
pliable enough to allow that to occur. They've been complaining for the better part of 10 or 12 years. So,
I'd say,
They've also lowballed me a really low offer on the property, and that's part of the dynamic.
well, as far as access, you can relate what this body's had conversation on as far as doing that.
Sure.
And, like I said, I don't know the legality, the legals of having access to that property or not. But, I would suggest, even though they'd like to maybe, even if that outcome's not necessarily what they'd ultimately like to see, that's, still, what needs, that you need to be allowed to at least try to maintain the property.
I didn't totally understand. what
Well,
you're
I'm
saying.
just saying that even if they'd like to see a different outcome, they'd still, you kind of have some obligation to allow your neighbor to maintain the property.
I would hope so.
That's my
Yeah.
feeling. I don't know what the legality of that, what the legals are
Me
as
neither.
far as access, but
Doing the roof won't be a problem because I would have access. I'll have interior scaffolding and that.
but the wall is.
The wall, the north wall that is only accessible, to the best of my knowledge, from
Yeah.
his property.
Yeah.
So,
Do we need to officially
Do anything.
deny his appeal with
No.
with the
I don't think we
opportunity
need to
to
do
fix?
anything.
Okay, just making sure.
I don't think we need to do, because we're not any different. We're not
Situation.
rescinding the appeal or the condemnation at this point.
Okay. Okay, good.
Do you have any other questions for us?
I have one other comment. The people at 740 North Columbia that were hanging out there, most likely, I've been told, are Travis Strong and Jessica Strong. He is currently driving a gray Jeep. I don't think he has a driver's license. I just got done evicting him from my property, and he's been trespassed, but he continues to come back onto the property, which is heads up on a compliance issue. I've had to purchase now 5 wireless cameras so that I can pursue my breaking and entry charges against him in Dark County. But he's really up to no good, so heads up on that. If you need any further information, you got my phone number. Just give me a call.
Larry mentioned something to me about that, but I didn't get all the details.
It's bad. I totally
He said they
misjudged it.
basically moved out there and tried to squat on you,
Yeah.
so,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. No other visitors? Tim, I assume you don't have any? Okay. Any comments or questions from board members? Okay. Next Board of Works meeting is Monday, July 28th, at 1:45 p.m. Next council meeting, Monday, July 28th, at 6 p.m. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
First, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Sign there.